Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. That is not a typo. NASA says that an asteroid has a 2.3% chance of hitting Earth in 2032. That's right, a 2.3% chance of hitting Earth in 2032. This asteroid was just discovered at the end of December. The estimated percentage has gone up the last couple days. Now, it could just go down. But right now, NASA says 2.3% chance. The European Space Agency says 2.2% chance. And the estimated size of this asteroid is between 130 feet and 300 feet in diameter. This is not a little rock. So, will there have to be a mission sent from Earth to try to deflect this asteroid? I was reading a thread today which made an interesting point saying that that's a decision that's got to be made early, maybe a few years early. You can't just decide overnight, and you can't say tonight, let's send a spaceship up there to deflect this and send it up tomorrow. So we're going to talk about this story. Let's hope that the percentages end up going down, and we don't have to. Let's hope this is our one and only stream we have to do about this story. But you never know. So I think it's important. We're going to cover it. We're going to take comments from you and questions from you. We're going to bring you the latest updates here. 2.3%. Thanks, by the way, for the gift membership, Evil Bunny. Thanks to our members, Paul Langila, Teresa. Thanks, Grevin Share. Grevin thinks NASA is trying to save its funding and avoid being replaced by SpaceX and Blue Origin, the ongoing purge. Well, I don't know if Grevin's joking, but I guess Grevin thinks the ESA is on it as well, because the European Space Agency has it at 2.2%. Thank you, Grevin Share, for your support. Thank you, Lunar Guardian. And who says the Super Bowl rematch brought it closer. Thank you, Dodger Blue, as well. Thank you to, maybe we'll do a poll later on whether it's going to hit the Earth. Thanks to our moderators, we have Beth Mythical and Ruth Krafasi over there on YouTube. Robert's May Queen moderating. Linda Belk, Larry, and X moderating over there. Sorry, Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. On Twitch, we have moderating right now A Moment of Lovely, McBritches, and Surly Dev. Can you bet on it? I'm not aware that Polymarket has. I wouldn't be surprised if Polymarket posts something about it, but I guess it's a bet that if you bet on Polymarket, they probably wouldn't pay off one way or the other till December of 2032. By the way, there is a specific date. It's been narrowed down to a specific date, December 22nd, 2032. I think it's roughly a 10-hour window, 10 or 11-hour window. Thanks to our Facebook moderators. Charlotte Webb is moderating, thank you. Christina Neal, K. Larry Body. Thanks, Lee Lewis, for subscribing over there. Okay, so let's talk about this. Hold on a second here. Let's talk about this. Oh, John Attard said Polymarket. I don't want to start getting into all the betting stuff, but Polymarket has a bet on it increasing to 3%. I can probably look this up really quick. Yes, Polymarket has, this is a betting site. This is not a sponsored broadcast. I'm just letting you know that Polymarket currently has people betting on whether it will reach a 3% NASA estimate of it hitting or a 5% chance of it hitting. Now, I'm not going to have a countdown timer. No countdown timer. Thank you to Luke Patterson, our new member, and Eris Kalar, our member. And PZ Papa Zulu, thanks for the gift memberships. Eris says it will take one look at Earth and reverse its course. Okay, so first of all, look, this is a page from NASA. I'm not making this up. This is a NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory page talking about the object is called 2024 YR4. Look at this. 2.3% chance of Earth impact. 1 in 43 odds of impact. 97.7% chance the asteroid will miss the Earth. So this is not being made up. By the way, I know it's early to do this, but I'm going to award, we haven't even been on the stream for 5 minutes. I am already ready to award our Chatter of the Night. Congratulations to our Chatter of the Night, Josh. Josh just posted in capital letters, "This isn't breaking news. We've known about it for 6 years now, and the year is also wrong. It isn't 2032. So, first of all, you can see right here on the NASA page, it literally says 2032 right there. That's on the NASA page. Second of all, this was discovered in December of 2024, which is less than 6 years ago. So, Josh, congratulations. You have, and you can see here, this is from the European Space Agency. It was discovered on December 27th, 2024. So, Josh, for your excellent post, which really improved all of our experiences in the chat and also made you look really smart, and using capital letters was the icing on the cake. You, Josh, win our Chatter of the Night. Congratulations. Okay, let's get into the stream now. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into the stream. So this is this NASA JPL page. And this has gone up the last couple days. I don't think I have it over time. BNO News has posted about this. Yesterday it was news when it was news a couple days ago when it went up to 1% or over 1%. And now it's over 2%. Yeah, see, look, BNO News, update from NASA. There's now a 2.3% chance asteroid will hit Earth in 2032, up from 1.9% yesterday. Oh, and where did the BNO News posted something about Apophis too? The highest risk assessment an asteroid has ever received was 2.7% in 2004. Is this from the European Space Agency? Hold on a second. I have something about this. Yeah, so little background here. This is from the European Space Agency. I think NEO is Near Earth Object. The new top entry on our risk list, 2024 YR4, has entered the stage as the first ever near-Earth object to score level 3 in the Torino Impact Hazard Scale. I'm just going to confirm NEO means near Earth object. Yeah, NEO, near Earth object. Let me make this a little bigger for you. So, and again, this asteroid was discovered about 6 weeks ago. So the European Space Agency says the new top entry on our risk list. I'm going to show you the risk list. Hold on, I'll show you right now. It's at the top of the risk list. I know I'm jumping down around, but we'll go back to that right. Let me just show you the risk list. I have the risk list here. Look, it's right here. This is the European Space Agency. Current number of near-Earth asteroids, NEAs, in risk list, 1,743. Well, guess what the number one is? Look, number one. There's 1,743 on the list. Look what number one is. It's the one discovered 6 weeks ago. Right there. 2024 YR4. Diameter in meters, 40 to 90 meters. Impact date. Time in UTC, December 22nd, 2032. This would be, well, UTC right now I think is 5 hours off. I have to like plug this in. I have to ask like AI, but without I think on the US it's always 4 or 5 hours away. Anyways, I believe this would be, I mean, we're not going to get, it's just to give you a general idea. This time would be about 9 a.m., Eastern time. Okay. And, but you can see it is the number one. It's the number one on the risk list from the European Space Agency. And they say, where is it here? Where is it here? What was I reading you? No. Yes. The new top entry on our risk list, says European Space Agency, is 2024 YR4. It has entered the stage as the first ever near-Earth object to score level 3 on the Torino Impact Hazard Scale. We'll talk about that in a second. With a diameter between 40 and 90 meters. So we're talking roughly between 130 and 300 feet wide. And with a diameter between 40 and 90 meters and an impact probability for an impact in 2032. Now this is a little old because this says currently hovering around 1.5%. The European Space Agency now has it at 2.2%, so it's gone up. It is classified as an event meriting attention by astronomers and has therefore triggered intense observational activity in the planetary defense community. Up-to-date information on this object, including daily updates on its estimated impact probability, is always available on our website. In this newsletter, however, we would like to briefly compare it with past cases that rose to prominence and subsequently fell to zero. The most famous case was 99942 Apophis. Am I saying Apophis right? I don't even know. 99942 Apophis was the most famous case, which reached level 4 in December 2004, shortly after its rediscovery. I don't understand why this says the first ever near-Earth object to score level 3, when this says level 4. Anyways, Apophis reached level 4 in December 2004, shortly after its rediscovery. A few days later, its impact probability reached 3%, the highest ever recorded for a significantly large asteroid. Okay, so the highest ever impact probability for a significantly large asteroid was Apophis, 3%. This new one is now at 2.3% says NASA, 2.2% says European Space Agency. Pre-covery data from early 2004 quickly clarified that the object was not going to impact in 2029. Unfortunately, for 2024, careful searches for pre-covery detections have so far come up empty-handed. Pre-covery. I don't even know what that means, a pre-covery detection. Let me look that up. Can I find a quick answer for you? ChatGPT says pre-covery detection in asteroid research is the process of identifying an asteroid in older archival images. It means finding previously unnoticed observations of the asteroid in the historical data sets. That allows astronomers to refine its orbit and improve predictions. Interesting. So they have yet to find historical records where they have, I guess they can go back and look maybe at telescope images or other scientific measurements they've done. And they can try to find in their previous records, oh, there it is. But they haven't found it yet. Only one other object has so far reached a rating higher than 1 in the Torino scale. That is an object in 2004, with 144898 2004 VD17 reaching level 2 in February 2006 and remaining at that level for a few months until dropping first to 1 and then to 0. In addition to these special cases, about 60 other objects have reached level 1 since the scale was defined in 1999, an average rate of 2 to 3 per year. They have all since dropped to 0 thanks to additional observations. So so this is Torino scale level 3, and let me just show you something about that. Take some comments here. The Torino Impact Hazard Scale this is a NASA webpage. It's a tool for categorizing potential Earth impact events. It is intended primarily to facilitate public communication by the asteroid impact hazard monitoring community. The scale captures the likelihood and consequences of a potential impact event, but does not consider the time remaining until the potential impact. More extraordinary events are indicated by a higher Torino scale value. So currently we are at a 3. This is a 3, meriting attention by astronomers. Orange is threatening, and then red would be certain collision. So we're not in certain collisions yet. And we're not in threatening yet. Although I read a thread today that said because of the size, I'll have to check that thread. I read a scientist who said because of its size, he thought that it would never ever be an orange, that if it ever went way up, it would just go straight to red because of the size. And anyways, we'll get into that in a second, but let me just show you what it is right now. It is currently at 3. Torino Impact Hazard Scale 3 is a close encounter meriting observation by astronomers. Current calculations give a 1% or greater chance of collision capable of localized destruction. Most likely, new telescopic observations will lead to reassignment to level 0. Keep that in mind. Attention by public officials is merited if the encounter is less than a decade away. It is less than a decade away, 2032. And by the way, I remember, who was it who said this? I'm going to tell you the name of the person. I reposted his thread before, but it was the person who pointed this out was, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Jonathan O'Callaghan. And he pointed out that, he said that it's not going to reach 4 because 4 talks about an object with a collision capable of regional devastation. And while this could be very destructive if it hit a city, it's not big enough to cause regional devastation, he said. So he didn't expect this would ever go up to 4 because it's just not big enough to go to. I mean, it could eventually get into the red at 8, but 4 would be something that would be a bigger asteroid. By the way, I heard from, in a second I'm going to take some comments from you guys. Oh, hey guys, I got Michael from B&O News sent me something. Thanks to Michael. I'm gonna show you what Michael sent me. Courtesy of B&O News. Michael from B&O News sent me, you're going to see it on your screen in a second. And it's how the probability has gone up. So, January 30th, 1.3%. January 31st, 1.6%. Yesterday it got to 1.9%, and today NASA had it at 2.3%. I got to read some comments from you guys. No, Apophis is now gone to 0, according to what we just read, Steppenwolf. Thank you, Steppenwolf. Thank you to Marnie for the gift membership. Thank you, Jake DeFox94, who says, I'm not too worried. Back in 2022, NASA successfully diverted asteroids orbital path DART. Are you saying they did like a practice thing or something? Here, I think this is what our viewer is talking about right here. NASA study asteroids orbit shape changed after DART impact. After NASA's historic double asteroid redirection test, a JPL-led study has shown that the shape of the asteroid Dimorphos has changed and its orbit has shrunk. When NASA's double asteroid redirection test, DART, deliberately smashed into a 560-foot wide, that's bigger than this one, asteroid in 2022, it's made its mark in more ways than one. The demonstration showed that a kinetic impactor could deflect a hazardous asteroid should one ever be on a collision course with Earth, which may be the case now. DARTs target the asteroid Dimorphos, orbits a larger near-Earth asteroid called Didymos. The test impact that NASA carried out on an asteroid, that is Dimorphos right there. That's 2 seconds before the spacecraft struck its surface. How about that? That's that photo there from NASA. It changed the impact of Dimorphos, and the entire shape of the asteroid changed. Before impact, this shows the approximate shape change of the asteroid. Oh, maybe we can look at this. What is this? I don't want to worry about that right now. Replay? I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. Interesting. Okay, so our viewer, Jake DeFox, thinks they could do something like that with this one. Thanks also to, hold on a second here. Garden Variety says, savor this. NASA may be next on the chopping block. Give me 1 second here. We got a bunch to talk about with this. Let me just mention a story that one of our viewers mentioned. Just want to mention this. There is a train that was on fire, a SEPTA train carrying 350 people from Philadelphia to Wilmington caught fire. The train was evacuated and no injuries were reported. That is from 6 Action News. A SEPTA train caught on fire. And SEPTA is Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. But again, no injuries reported and passengers evacuated. Okay. Let's get back into this. Where is the thing I was showing you before? Possible impacts. Thanks, by the way, to Marnie and also Jake DeFox, thank you, and Marnie for the gift memberships. Naval Dominance, thank you. Thank you, Oceanic Water, who says 1908 in Russia was larger, and they said next update 2025, then 2028. Yeah, we'll talk about the 2028 thing. I think that's the next. Well, I think it's coming closer in 2028, and it will allow for further observation, better observation then. We'll talk about this. Thank you, Penniless Jester. Penniless Jester says, for perspective, the impact crater in Arizona is nearly a mile wide and 550 feet deep, caused by an iron meteorite which had a 150-foot diameter. Imagine the tsunami size of an ocean impact. That's from Penniless Jester. Thanks, Red Squirrel and Evil Bunny, and Connie Fernandez and Mammy Washington, and Jinx Jim, who says, Elon save us, and Eliza Jane and Jeremy. All right. Also, Daredevil, who says, Iron Man is distracted creating Doge. Thank you, Daddy Dino, also, and Sir Steve123 on Twitch. All right. So again, in case you're just joining us, there is a asteroid called 2024 YR4, which NASA says has a 2.3% chance of impacting Earth on December 22nd, 2032. .3% chance of Earth impact, 1 in 43 odds. There's only been one asteroid ever. I don't know how, I mean, these measurements have only been taken for so long, but only one asteroid has ever had a 3% chance. has reached 3% ever. An asteroid, great question. What's an asteroid? It's basically a, well, I could say relatively small. It's not like planet-sized. A relatively small rock object that I believe orbits around the sun. Did I get that right? Did I get it right? Let's see if Steve got it right or wrong. Oh, is it yes? Oh no, doesn't have to revolve around the sun. It doesn't have to orbit around the sun. Asteroids, sometimes called minor planets, are rocky, airless remnants left over from the early formation of our solar system. Most asteroids can be found orbiting the sun between Mars and Jupiter within the main asteroid belt. Although, is that just most that we know about? I'm not sure. Asteroids range in size from Vesta, the largest at about 329 miles in diameter, to bodies that are less than 33 feet. The total mass of all asteroids, oh no, it's our solar system. This is not the universe. It's remnants left over from the early formation of our solar system. So most of them can be found orbiting the sun. And they range from around less than 33 feet across to 320 miles across. The total mass of all the asteroids combined is less than that of Earth's moon. Here are some different ones. I want to read you something about this. There's some reports. This is from the ESA. Asteroid 2024 YR4 latest updates. Now, to clarify, this image from the European Space Agency is not like a photo of 2024 YR4. It is an artist's representation of an asteroid. It's not supposed to be, the image is not supposed to be of a specific asteroid. It's an artist's depiction of an asteroid. So it could look like this. I just want to be clear that they're not presenting this as a picture of this exact asteroid, but it's on their page. So we're going to take a look at the European Space Agency update about this. LL says we're nothing compared to the universe, LOL. And again, this was just discovered. This asteroid was just discovered on December 27th. It's not like it's been known about for years and years. It was discovered about 6 weeks ago, and it is now at the top of the list, top of the risk list for near-Earth objects. No countdown timer yet. How fast is it moving? That's a good question. We should look that up. I'll see if I can get an answer for you. Okay. Here's what the European Space Agency says. The European Space Agency is closely monitoring asteroid 2024 YR4, which has a very small chance of impacting Earth in 2032. The latest updates are below. I don't consider that a very small chance. 2.2%, I mean, very small is in the eye of the beholder. It's a relative term. But I don't see 2.2% as very small when you can consider the possible damage it could cause. Asteroid 2024 YR4, size 40 to 90 meters. Probability of Earth impact 2.2%. Date of potential impact 22 December 2032. They have a date. Thanks, by the way, to Patrick O'Donoghue, who says it's a bug meteor. We're all ready for Starship Troopers. Thank you, Jeremy, for the gift memberships, and DJ Rob, and Grouch ISK, and Red Squirrel. Okay. Oh, there's a video we can watch too. Maybe we'll watch that in a second. Find out why the impact probability is changing over time and why it is likely to fall to 0. We should check out, this is a video, hold on a second. I don't know if I can play this. I think I can. Hold on, there's music on it. Yeah, it's ESA, so I should be able to play it for you. Let me see if I want to play this. Maybe we'll play it in a little bit. I think we're jumping ahead. Let me show you what they said. ESA's Near-Earth Object Coordination Center has published its February newsletter. The monthly newsletter summarizes news in planet defense. It focuses on asteroid. I'm going to show you that. I think I have it pulled up here. The current risk corridor for asteroid 2024 YR4 as of February 6th. Click here for a full explanation of this image. Sure. So this was as of yesterday. As of yesterday, the experts at ESA have determined that the risk of this asteroid impacting Earth on... Oh, no, this is a different one. This is a different one. No, I'm sorry. This is like a typo. This says 2024 YR4, but this says December 22nd, 2029. That's the wrong date. I think it's 2032. Anyways, let me just show you what they said. They said they have this this graphic here. You can see it says uncertain. Can I make this bigger? Make it bigger for you. It says moon orbit, Earth, uncertainty region. I guess they mean they expect the asteroid to go somewhere in here. And I would assume the darker the orange, the more likely it is there. Let me show you their explanation of it. You see this image here? Can you guys see this? Make it bigger for you. This is from the ESA. So this is the image they're talking about. Ooh. There we go. There we go. So we're going to read it in a second, but I assume they mean that it's like, oh, you can't see this. Why can't you see when I'm... Oh, I know why. I assume they mean that the thing is going to fly by and it's going to go somewhere in here. All right, so they say here, in their explanation of this, they say, oh, this is actually good information here. This numerical value is expected to evolve in the coming weeks as additional observations are reported, first rising and then falling. If this asteroid, first rising and then falling. Again, when they first posted this, it was at 1.8%. Now it's at 2.2%. They do say this numerical value, and this is a typo here. It's 2032. It's not 2029. It should be 2032. This is from the ESA. This numerical value is expected to evolve in the coming weeks as additional observations are reported, first rising and then falling. So we can expect it to rise, the percentage. If this asteroid follows the pattern of past such discoveries, basically, the more observations we get, the more we can localize and confirm the asteroid's trajectory, which is most likely to turn out to be a flyby and not an impact. Hence, we expect the risk forecast can be steadily stepwise reduced to 0. So the expectation is that eventually it'll be 0, the probability. One factor specific to this asteroid, again, this is from the ESA. One factor specific to this asteroid, it should be noted, is that it is presently moving away from Earth on a curved, receding orbital path. So observers are going to require larger telescopes every time, which is what's needed to refine our knowledge of the trajectory. Also, the exact size of this asteroid remains unknown, with the current estimate running at 40 to 90 meters, about 130 to 300 feet in diameter. As such, this asteroid will steadily recede and soon, within the next few weeks, become too faint for medium telescopes to detect. By the end of February, it will become too faint for even professional 4M class telescopes to see. And within April, astronomers would need big iron class optics to continue tracking, namely James Webb Space Telescope from space, or the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope with 8M class optics, some of the world's best. But it is guaranteed to disappear from humankind's view by May and will not reappear again until June 2028. What all this means is that we may not get sufficient observational data before it's gone to fully reduce the risk to zero and rule out an impact in 2032. So once we reach May, it no longer is visible to us on Earth until June 2028. So we might have to, they expect it'll get ruled out, but it's entirely possible that it's not ruled out until at least 2028. Ian Murren says, schedule the live stream now. But when we talk about a percentage, the question is percentage of what? Look at the graphic below. Now they post this graphic here, which I showed you. See, it says uncertainty region. There's Earth, there's the moon orbiting Earth, and then there's this region here. Okay, so let's see what they say about this graphic. They say this graphic was prepared by Near Earth Object Coordination Center at ESA. It shows a simple global view looking down on Earth, quote, down on Earth and the moon, onto the plane of the ecliptic, the equator of the solar system. Okay, possible. The red line, it says, is a time propagation. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this over here. Let me put the graphic on the screen for you, and then I can read what it says about it. There's the graphic here. No, that's not what I want. Is it? Yes. Yes, here's the graphic. So I'm going to tell you what they say about this graphic. Give me one moment. That'll make it easier. All right, there's the graphic. Now let me tell you what they have to say about the graphic. They say this the red line is the time propagation comprising 500 points at which the asteroid might pass by Earth, to the left or the right, or intersecting Earth, generated by a Monte Carlo simulation. Basically, this is like tossing the dice 500 times to see randomly where the asteroid might head, looking into the plane of the graphic. So again, they're talking about the asteroid. Is it going to hit it, or going to fly by here, 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 or hit it here, 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 here? The line ends up running about 160 times wider than the diameter of the Earth itself, so it is roughly 2 million kilometers long, not drawn to scale, I would assume. Well, I guess the line maybe that's some of the line. Or maybe, I don't know. Anyways, our risk assessment is simply the ratio of the Earth's width to the width of the generated line, which comes to about 1.8%. Note that there are more of the red dots nearer Earth, indicating that the distribution is not purely uniform along the length of the line. And so the risk is actually higher where the red dots are denser closer to Earth. But essentially, and when we still have not yet sufficiently precise orbital data, the risk can be taken as the ratio of the width of Earth to the width of the line. This will surely become clearer in the future. Yeah, that is not drawn to scale. Because in that graph, Earth is like, what, a third of the size of the line or something? Anyways, so that's an explanation. Next to the mode, Moon 1 says, pretty cool they can predict the day. Yes, the day would be, as you can see right here, one moment here, December 22nd, 2032. We're going to talk about what kind of damage this might cause. Let's hope if it were in a worst case scenario. Take some comments here. Jake wants me to mention the DART project again. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. We already talked about it, Jake, but we'll talk about it again later. Thanks, Jake DeFox94. Thanks also Ludwig, who says, I'm less likely to get struck by lightning. I don't know that that's true. What are the chances of you getting struck by lightning? Is it greater than 2.2%? According to Google, the chance of being struck by lightning in the U.S. is about 1 in 15,300 over a lifetime. So obviously, 2.2%, which is 2.3%, is greater than the chance of being struck by lightning. Thank you, Leonette, by the way, for the Game Over sticker. Thank you, Red Squirrel 82 for the gift membership, and Shaft for the gift memberships. Also, Alicia Alexander. Alicia says, it puts into perspective that we really are at the mercy of the universe, and at any moment an earth-changing event could happen. Thanks to OPR357, who says Tunguska object was only about 130 feet in diameter and didn't even hit Earth. It exploded 15,000 feet above ground with a force of about 10 megatons, causing destruction in a 20-mile diameter area. All right, we'll have to talk about that as well. We will. We'll get to it. Thank you, OPR357. I really appreciate that. Also, Martin Gingrich. Martin, I have not seen any kind of estimate yet as to if it were to impact Earth, where it would be. My guess is that that's not known yet, is that they can't pinpoint that yet. Gravity Gaming GG says, I'd put my entire life savings on this thing not hitting Earth. Well, the odds right now, according to NASA, is 97.8% of it not. 97.7% it doesn't hit Earth. So the question becomes, would you put your life savings on a 97.7% bet? Kurt Bogman says that would be the first full day of winter 2032. Our viewer Sergey K says you're telling me there's a chance. Only one asteroid has ever reached 3% likelihood. By the way, an option with this, in addition to diverting, say, for example, diverting the asteroid, would be to evacuate people on Earth. Thanks to Siddharth Lohochab, who says, it isn't that big. We will be able to develop something, Google DART asteroid, to change its trajectory. You can see right here on the screen from NASA. CNEOS analysis of near-Earth asteroid 2024 YR4, which is estimated to be about 40 to 90 meters wide, indicates it has, and this is from several days ago, indicates it has more than a 1% chance of impacting Earth on December 22nd, 2032. Now it's gone up to 2.2%. These analyses will change day to day as more observations are gathered. We have some frequently asked questions about it. Oh, let's look at this. How was this asteroid discovered? 2024. Oh, we have discovery images. Look, it's discovery images of the asteroid right there. Credit Atlas. Discovery images of the asteroid. You're seeing it. Oh my gosh. By the way, thanks to our moderators, we got Sarah55 and Rusty G, Beth Mythical modding. Really appreciate it. Oops, I want to leave that up there for a second. Discovery images. All of our other YouTube mods, Linda Belk, Larry, Misha on X, over there on Twitch. A Moment of Lovely, Big Ball of Yarn, McBritches, Surly Dove, and Tariag. Thank you. On Facebook, Christina Neal. And Charlotte Webb, K. Lowry Body, thank you. Okay. Oh, thank to Hot Pink 90 Sun, our member. Who wants it to hit his or her house so they can charge money to see the hole it causes? Thank you, Sergey. Sergey says 2.3% chance you don't need to get anyone Christmas presents that day. And thank you to Rain Wrapped as well. NASA's IAWN notification as possible impact sites. Is that true? Are you sure about this, Rain Wrapped? I thought I read that IAWN thing. Are you sure? I haven't seen. I'll look that up. Hold on a moment. Oh, look. Yeah, the thing that International Asteroid Warning Network, which I believe, well, who oversees that? It is, hold on. It's a worldwide planetary defense collaboration of organizations and individual astronomers recommended by a UN resolution. So this is a pretty respected body. They put this out and they said impact risk corridor. The impact risk corridor, which is the region of Earth along which a potential impact could occur, extends across the eastern Pacific Ocean, northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. That's interesting. I hadn't seen that. Thanks to our viewer for mentioning that. And again, this is the International Asteroid Warning Network. Will this work if I do this? Give me 1 second here. I just got to post this. I think it's an interesting thing. I mean, there's obviously a lot of specifics left out of that, but so again, that's not particularly specific, but it says the impact risk corridor, which is the region of Earth along which a potential impact could occur, extends across the eastern Pacific Ocean, northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. That's a respected body too. So I'm literally just reading their potential asteroid impact notification. Oh, it literally says it right here, impact risk corridor. Oh, I should post this again. Sorry, I'm going to post this again. Give me 1 second. I can do a better job of this. Because I can just post this. Give me 1 sec. I did it. Okay. Thanks for your patience. There you go. All right. So, sorry, I just had to post something. I'm sorry to take a minute there. Anyways, I think this is interesting to look at. You can see. So just to clarify here, this is the International Asteroid Warning Network, and the 1.3% is from January 29th. It's now 2.3%. What you can see is date of potential impact 22 December 2032. Impact risk corridor across the eastern Pacific Ocean, northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. Most likely 130 to 300 feet in size. Expected damage level if impact occurs. Severe blast damage in the unlikely event of an impact. When will there be new information? The asteroid will be observable and information will be updated through early April 2025 and then again starting in June 2028 when the asteroid will return to the vicinity of Earth. And I was going to show you also, we were looking at these frequently asked, let me take a couple comments here. There's some frequently asked questions I wanted to show you the answers to. One of our viewers said, if you do have something incoming that can't be stopped, I don't want to know. Well, you know, there's options if it is headed for Earth. But again, an interesting point that was made by hold on a second here. Sorry, it was Jonathan O'Callaghan science journalist Jonathan O'Callaghan. He made the point that in theory, you can't just decide one day we need to send something up to stop it, and then the next day send it up. So he was saying that it's possible that, you might have to just be safe in advance, send something up without knowing without knowing how do I want to say this? He says you might have to design a mission or prepare evacuations in advance when you're still, years in advance, because it might take a while to do these things. He said, according to science journalist Astro_Johnny, I'm going to post a link to his thread so you can read his thread. But he said that there's only a few months to observe it in until 2028, which we actually saw that as well. You can see it right here. It's passing out of view until 2028. He said we might have to prepare for an impact until 2028. I'm not an expert on this, but what he's saying is you don't want to wait. If you don't know by the time it goes out of view in a couple months, it might not be smart to wait until 2028 to start preparing things. He means maybe preparing a mission to go try to deflect it. Red Squirrel says it takes time to prepare a response. You can't wait. Toast and Loaf thinks they have to refine the orbit better before they can even plan anything, but maybe they can do it well enough before April. Gary Eckert says, I'm buying my Starship ticket right now. All right, let me show you guys. We're going to show you some of the ESA had posted some Q&A about this. Again, that right there is discovery images of the asteroid. Right there. Discovered 6 weeks ago. How was this discovered? 2024 YR4 was discovered on December 27th by the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Alert System. This was discovered by the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. The object had a close approach with Earth on December 25th, which is why it became bright enough to be detected in the asteroid services. Wow. It was discovered by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, a robotic astronomical survey and early warning system optimized for detecting smaller near-Earth objects a few weeks to days before they impact Earth. It has 4 telescopes. It began observations in 2015. That's how it was discovered. How large is it? It's most likely in the range of 130 to 300 feet in size. This estimate this is from the this is from NASA, by the way. This Q&A is from NASA. The estimate of size is based on measurements of the asteroid's brightness. The size cannot be further constrained without thermal infrared observations, radar observations, or imagery from a spacecraft that could closely approach the asteroid. Why is it on the risk list? As new observations were collected, the orbit has become more accurately constrained, and the predicted positional uncertainty region in 2032 has narrowed considerably, with the Earth still within the swath of possible positions. As a result, the impact probability is gradually increased. On January 27th, it surpassed 1%, an important threshold. Today, it surpassed 2%. In the unlikely event it is on an impact trajectory, the impact would occur somewhere along a risk corridor which includes the Eastern Pacific Ocean, Northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. It is currently rated on Torino Risk Scale 3 as 3. It is uncommon for an asteroid to be rated at Torino Scale 3 because that can only happen for an asteroid larger than 20 meters with an impact probability of 1% or greater, which is quite rare for an object of this size. Smaller objects have reached higher impact probabilities, even up to 100%, but they are always rated 0 on the scale because of their size. Small asteroids typically burn up in the atmosphere and rarely cause any damage at all. A few asteroids over the years have reached Torino Scale 1, but these have all dropped back to Torino Scale 0. Okay. It is currently 30 million miles from Earth and moving farther away. Oh, you can see it. Here's a map. It's currently 30 million miles from Earth and moving further away in its outbound path around the sun. It will continue around the sun and safely return to Earth's neighborhood in 2028. So there it is. There's the sun, and there's Earth, and there's 2024 YR4. And I guess it's moving this way. And it'll come back around after several years. Tony is busy, thank you, says, makes you wonder what else is out of view. It's very interesting. This was just discovered 6 weeks ago. Thank you, Mike Rivers. Will you live stream until the thread is over? That's what Mike wants me to do. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Twitter Pater, our member. And Craig Borden, who says, the end of the world party gonna be lit. When will it approach close to Earth again? Will radar be able to detect it when it comes close again? It will approach close to Earth again in 2028 at about 20 times Earth-Moon distance, and there is no chance it might impact Earth during that passage. The 2028 close approach will be maybe too distant for radar to detect it. Okay. Is it possible that it was observed in the past? Yes, it's possible. Archival images, especially around the time of a close approach to Earth in 2016, are being searched to see if this asteroid could have been accidentally observed then. The search is not easy because the plane of sky position at the time is uncertain. Anyways, they say if an archival detection were found, the orbit of this asteroid would be known to a much greater degree of certainty, and the impact probability will then change dramatically. So if they can find some old image, maybe one perhaps from 2016, with this asteroid in it, that would really help them narrow down the trajectory. If it impacts the Earth in 2032, how fast would it be when it enters the atmosphere? How fast would it be going? In the unlikely event it hits the Earth in 2032, it would impact at a high velocity, roughly 38,000 miles per hour. Again, if it impacts Earth, it will impact at approximately 38,000 miles per hour. That's what it says. Right there. I'm just reading it right here. Anyways. Take some comments from you guys. I also want to talk about, we should talk about what, I mean, it's unlikely it'll do this, but we could talk about what kind of damage this could cause. Devin says that's 50 times faster than the speed of sound. Speed of sound is about 750 miles an hour. Yes. Take some more comments from you guys. That is where the European Space Agency says their Planetary Defense Office is keeping a very close eye on 2024 YR4. 2024 YR4 is the name of this asteroid. It was discovered 6 weeks ago, and now it is at a 2.2% or 2.3% chance, according to NASA, chance of impacting Earth in 2032 on December 22nd. Yep. This is a little bit of an old article. So it's actually, ESA has it at 2.2%. NASA has it at 2.3%. There is one asteroid that's ever gotten to 3% chance. And then it went down, that chance. Hey, thanks to Unknown Musician for your support. Jay Dillon says, compared to a rifle bullet, it is shockingly faster. Prater Zauna says, if it doesn't hit the Earth, what about the moon or satellites? Good question. I know nothing about that. Hang on a second here. Just Tom says, perhaps Elon can slow it down with his boosters. Cheryl Smith says, oh, good before Christmas. April Coco says, how big is it compared to the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs? We should talk about some historic occurrences where objects hit the Earth. Google AI says the most widely accepted theory is that an asteroid impact wiped out the dinosaurs. They say the crater is the second largest on Earth. The impact created a huge blast wave and heat wave. Okay, so the Google AI says the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was thought to be 10 to 15 kilometers in diameter. The impact created the Chicxulub crater in Mexico, which is over 100 miles in diameter. So again, according to Google AI, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was thought to be 10 to 15 kilometers, about 6 to 10 miles in diameter. This asteroid that we're talking about now, the one with the 2.3% chance of hitting Earth, is 130 to 300 feet wide, which could still do very significant damage. Yeah, we got to talk about the one over Russia that people talk about. Is this the one people are talking about? People have written in about this one. This is a meteor. The one in, where people are talking about the Chelyabinsk. Which one are people? No, the Tunguska event. So one of our viewers mentioned the Tunguska event. This was 1908. The Tunguska event was a large explosion of between 3 and 50 megatons in Russia in 1908. It felled an estimated 80 million trees over 830 square miles. It's generally attributed to a meteor airburst, the atmospheric explosion of a stony asteroid about 200 feet wide. Similar size to what this is supposed to be. That asteroid had a relatively high speed of 98,000 kilometers per hour, which the estimated speed of this one would be, this is 27 kilometers per hour. The estimated speed of this one, if it hit, the current one, would be 17 kilometers per hour. It is thought to have exploded at an altitude of 3 to 6 miles, rather than hitting the Earth's surface, leaving no crater. That is the largest impact event on Earth in recorded history, although much larger impacts occurred in prehistoric times. An explosion of this magnitude would be capable of destroying a large metropolitan area. Rock Lobster thinks this current one would be a city killer because of its size. Here, look, Wikipedia. 2024 YR4, which is the current one, the one we've been talking about. According to Wikipedia, impact effect. Using NASA's estimated diameter, mass, and density for 2024 YR4, which is the asteroid that has a 2.3% chance of impacting Earth in 2032. The asteroid would release energy equivalent to 7.7 megatons of TNT if it were to impact Earth at a velocity at atmosphere entry of around 17 kilometers per second. This would more likely produce a meteor airburst or less likely produce an impact crater. It could cause destruction as far as 30 miles from the impact site and cause millions of casualties if it were to strike a major city like Mumbai or Lagos. Now, again, you're talking about a situation in which it's the unlikely event, unlikely as of right now, in which it hits Earth. And even if it hits Earth, it's much more likely than not that it doesn't hit a major city. But, I mean, we're talking about less than 8 years away. It's not, and something if it's something that is headed towards Earth and people on Earth want to take action to try to stop it, that is something that can't just be done overnight. Could it cause a huge tsunami? I would think it could if it hit water. Now that's a good point. I mean, because I would think that many of the impact points, if you just, I would assume, I mean, a couple of the regions it could hit are Pacific or Atlantic Ocean. So there's certainly a chance if it hits, it could hit water. I would certainly, I mean, tsunamis are caused by displacement of water. Ron Lolordo says, ocean is the likely site, but watch for tsunamis. That's an important difference between this and, say, like a falling piece of rocket debris. A falling piece of rocket debris is not going to cause a tsunami. Thank you, Matteo Martel. Yeah, we talked about, I'm going to talk about this again because people keep mentioning it. We talked about this earlier. Our viewers keep bringing this up. The NASA double asteroid redirection test that they conducted. DART was, this is from NASA, DART was the first ever mission dedicated to investigating and demonstrating one method of asteroid deflection by changing an asteroid's motion in space through kinetic impact. The impact was, it was launched in November of 2021. Impact on asteroid, well, asteroid and its moonlet, 2022. Do they have a summary of it here? Mission success. DART demonstrates asteroid deflection. I'll post a link. There's a whole video here about DART mission impact success. I'll post a video link to this. They said here, DART was the first ever space mission to demonstrate asteroid deflection by kinetic impact. The first planetary defense test mission. Yeah, I was trying to find you something else about this. Roger Shoemaker says it was a brilliant mission. Roberts May Queen says it was neat to watch. Anyways, hold on. Here, look. NASA confirms DART mission impact changed asteroid's motion in space. Analysis of data from the DART test showed the spacecraft's kinetic impact with its largest asteroid, Dimorphos, successfully altered the asteroid's orbit. This marks humanity's first time purposely changing the motion of a celestial object and the first full-scale demonstration of asteroid deflection technology. And again, that mission, how long did it take to get there? It launched what? Didn't it launch in on like a November, and it took months, right? Yeah, didn't it the impact date was September 2022. Right? And the launch date was November 2021. So in this case, it took about 10 months. It took about 10 months to get to the target. So just, again, that just shows you that's not preparation. That's from the time of launch. So if you're thinking of doing something like this, you have to factor in all that lead time. Oh, this is a NASA graphic, by the way, here. And then what happens if you fire it and something goes wrong with the craft? What if something goes wrong with the mission? Do you fire multiple missions? I don't know. Thank you, unknown musician, who wants me to stay live until some of our viewers want me to stay live until 2032. Thank you, Kieran, who says, real or does Space Force want more budget? European Space Agency has a similar assessment of the risk. Matteo says, I am talking about something else. Feel free to send it to me, Matteo. I don't know what that is. This thing here, this right here. Intra-agency tabletop exercise. Matteo mentioned this. This web page does not describe a real potential asteroid impact. The information on this page is fictional and provided only to support an emergency response exercise conducted during the Planetary Defense Interagency Tabletop Exercise 5 at Johns Hopkins University in 2024. I guess this was a tabletop exercise. It's kind of, I guess, kind of like a role-playing thing, a practice thing where this scenario was played out. The exercise will discuss a collaborative and international response to a hypothetical asteroid impact threat and assess preparedness for a threat scenario that could have global consequences. Well, maybe some of the lessons they learned doing that will be applied for this object if the percentage keeps going up. Thank you, Netgear32, by the way. A Nut says, I live right near the European Space Agency. I haven't even read you any news stories about this. We've been just talking about what the space agencies are putting out. All right, hang on a moment here. I know people are sending me stuff. Lowell, our viewer, likes this thing called Asteroid Launcher at neil.fund/asteroid-launcher. So you can Google Asteroid Launcher if you like. I guess it's a simulation of asteroid impacts, I guess, called Asteroid Launcher. I don't own the rights to it, so I'll say if you want to try it, check it out. Maybe I can write to them after the broadcast. Michael Lausen says, I will not spend money on a bunker. Kiwi NZ says, the dinosaur asteroid was about 100 million megatons, and this one is estimated at 40 megatons. The Wikipedia said that they estimated the impact of this to be 7.7 megatons. Oh, Nathan said I got confused on one of the graphics I was showing. That's possibly true. Where is it here? This one here? Oh. No, this says moon orbit. Was it this one? I don't want to really get hung up on this. But this says Earth. That says moon orbit. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'm sorry if I messed up on something. It's possible. Thank you, Nathan Galloway. Nathan thinks it would release 150 to 200 megatons. That's a lot higher than Wikipedia said. Oh, Nathan, I think, is assuming it's 90 meters wide. Yeah. So again, I guess Nathan checked with AI, Nathan Galloway. Thank you, Nathan, to our viewer. Again, the size is estimated of this is between 130 to 300 feet. So obviously a 300-foot object would cause more damage than a 130-foot object. The launch pad, our viewer thinks it could flatten everything within a 31-mile radius. That's from the launch pad. All right, and just again for people who are joining late, to summarize what we're talking about. We are talking about an asteroid that was just discovered at the end of December on December 27th. It was discovered on December 27th when it flew near, I guess it flew into view of some telescope or telescopes. It is, as of today, the percentage possibility of it impacting Earth, according to NASA, has gone above 2%. Only one asteroid has ever had a higher percent. And that percent ended up going down. But it is currently 2.3% chance of Earth impact, 1 in 43 odds. And the impact would happen on December 22nd, 2032. Oh, look, they have the estimated impact energy right here. I don't even have to guess. Impact energy, megatons, 7.7. So 7.7 megatons. Sorry, I missed this. This is from the NASA site. 2032, December 22nd. Impact energy megatons, 7.7. And just as a... the Hiroshima bomb was 15 kilotons. And this would be 7 megatons, which is about 500 times the Hiroshima bomb. The Nagasaki bomb was 25 kilotons. So this would be about 300 times the Nagasaki bomb. But there it is. It says it right there on the NASA page, 7.7 megatons. This was computed today. These results were computed today. Torino scale 3. So this is it is estimated at between 130, roughly 130 and 300 feet. You can see right here from the International Asteroid Warning Network, date of potential impact, 22 December 2032. That percentage is old. It's now 2.3%. Impact risk corridor across the Eastern Pacific Ocean, Northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. Most likely in the range through 130 to 300 feet in size. Severe blast damage in the unlikely event of an impact. The asteroid will be observable and information will be updated until early 2025, and then again starting in June 2028 when it will again return to the vicinity of Earth. Look what it says. Look what the IAWN, the International Asteroid Warning Network, says. While there is large uncertainty about whether the asteroid will impact Earth, if an impact occurs, it will be on this date. Again, current probability is up to 2.3%. But that's the date, December 22nd, 2032. By the end of the 2025 observability window in April, the impact probability could increase to a couple tens of percent, or it could more likely drop back down below the notification threshold 1% impact probability. How about that? So, again, eventually, in a couple months, it's going to pass out of all detection that we have for several years. But by that time, it could have gone down to below 1%, or it could be at a couple tens of percent, where you're talking about a couple tens is 20%. Not tenths, a couple tens of percent. Suppose it rises to like 10 or 15% by April. That number is probably not going to change for several years because it won't be observable till 2028 again. Very interesting. By the way, the asteroid is now too distant for radar observations and will not come within radar range until 2032. Expected damage level if impact occurs. Blast damage could occur as far as 50 kilometers, 30 miles from the impact site based on the larger end of the size range. It was discovered on December 27th, 2024 by the Asteroid Terrestrial Last Alert System during search operations for NASA. Wow. So we'll know more. Over the next couple months, this will get updated. Over the next couple months, over time, the probability will go up or down. Now, maybe it'll end up right back here, but it could go back down below 1%, or according to the International Asteroid Warning Network, we could be talking about something even, I guess at most, in like the 20% range. Could you imagine if it got up to that much and then we had 3 years to wait until it came back? It's called 2024 YR4. That is the name of it. Near-Earth Asteroid 2024 YR4. Would governments work together? Would China and Russia and the US all work together? One of our viewers said, how often is it predicted to have that much, as an asteroid predicted with this much of a chance? This is only the second one, I believe, that's gotten above 2%. Hot Rodacy thinks the governments would not work together. Z-Gag says too many egos. And again, this is a bit, you know what? I wonder if Wikipedia has. Yeah, there was the only Wikipedia says the Torino scale is a method for categorizing the impact hazard associated with near-Earth objects such as asteroids and comets. The only objects on the Torino scale that have ever ranked higher, there was a near-Earth objects with a Torino scale ranking of 1 are discovered several times a year. This current one has a 3. Look, the only objects on the Torino scale that have ever ranked higher than 1 are the asteroid Apophis, which had a rating of 4 for 4 days in late 2004, the highest recorded rating. 2004 VD17 with a rating of 2 in 2006, and the current one we're talking about, 2024 YR4 with a rating of 3 that is valid as of today. So this is only the second ever asteroid since the Torino scale started being used that has reached 3. And where does it say when it started, the Torino scale? It was created in the 1990s, it looks like. And just to show you again what it says, the Torino scale. I do not have a map of the potential impact zones. I don't even know if it has been narrowed down with any kind of degree that a map would be makeable at this point. There's a general idea of where the region would be. So again, this is the Torino scale. We're not in no hazard. We're not in normal. We're at 3, a close encounter meriting attention by astronomers. Current calculations give it a 1% of greater chance of collision capable of localized destruction. Most likely, new telescopic observations will lead to a reassignment to level 0. Attention by public and by public officials is merited if the encounter is less than a decade away, which it is. Now, yes, so one thing that the science journalist pointed this out, his name is Jonathan O'Callaghan. What he said is if you look at this scale, he said it's not going to get to 4 through 7. Now, why won't it get to 4 through 7? Because those require a larger asteroid. So number 4 is regional devastation. And he said that while this is certainly capable of, destroying a city, it's not big enough to cause regional devastation. I mean, it depends on how you define region. But he was saying that by how they defined region and how region is meant to be understood here, he didn't think it would count as regional devastation. Now look at 5 says a serious but still uncertain threat of regional devastation. 6 says serious but still uncertain threat of global catastrophe. 7 says unprecedented but still uncertain threat of global catastrophe. So if we're talking, something localized destruction, which doesn't reach up to regional devastation, well, that's not going to be global to catastrophe either. So that's why it would never qualify as 5, 6, or 7. So if it's only going to cause, not only is not small, but if it's not going to cause regional devastation or globalized catastrophe, then the next highest stage would be 8. A collision is certain, capable of causing localized destruction for an impact over land or possibly a tsunami if close offshore. Such events occur on average between once every 50 years and once per several thousand years. And then 9 is regional devastation and 10 is global climatic catastrophe. So you can see where the argument comes from that there's really nowhere higher for it to go on the scale than 8 if it's not going to cause regional devastation. 3 is as high as you can get for this size asteroid until a collision is certain, which would put it at 8. It's a little bit strange because you kind of want there to be, it kind of feels like there should be a level of concern greater than what it is now, but less than certain impact. I don't know though. What do I know? Maybe they can pretty much figure out if it's going to be certain or 0. They just have to get more information about the thing. But it's going away from Earth right now. April Coco says, will Trump's Iron Dome protect us from this? Chaz thinks, I think the need for concern will be evident in April. Yeah, so it seems to me by the time we get to April, it's possible this will be much less of a story because the percentage will go down. But if it starts going up more and more before April, when it leaves our visibility for several years, that's going to be a huge story. We could have several years between 2005 and 2008 of thinking there's like a decent chance that a asteroid could hit the U.S. in December of 2032 and produce a 7+ megaton explosion. So this could become a much bigger story very soon, by April. Or it could kind of go away by April if they get more information, the scientists, and it just turns out, oh, we have more information about it, it's not going to hit. We think it's really unlikely to hit. Wow. Red Squirrel 82 says, anticipatory anxiety, the cone of uncertainty. Is the U.S. in the hit zone? Well, the thing is, no, but what I don't understand is, first of all, maybe, because it could produce a tsunami, and I don't know the science on where this tsunami could go. This is an enormous, this could produce an enormous explosion. And it could produce a tsunami if it hit the water. So what if it hits in a place where it's not hitting the U.S., but the tsunami goes to the U.S.? I don't have a good sense of where the tsunami would go, how far, and what regions it would be in. But we told you the... where is it here? The regions it would be expected, the regions of impact Eastern Pacific. Now, the Eastern Pacific is I mean, the U.S. is near the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Eastern Pacific. Do we need to do a little geography lesson here? Let's look. I mean, there's the Pacific Ocean right here. Here's the Eastern Pacific. I mean, the U.S. is there. There's other things there. But there's the Pacific Ocean. Across the Eastern Pacific, northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean. It could hit the Atlantic Ocean. Obviously, part of the U.S. borders the Atlantic Ocean. Africa, the Arabian Sea, and South Asia. If I ask, I don't even know if I'll get a good answer. But if I ask like ChatGPT, how big a tsunami could a 7 megaton blast from an asteroid impact cause? I don't know if I'll get a correct answer on this. ChatGPT says it depends on factors like the energy of the impact, the location, deep versus shallow water, the angle of entry. If it impacts the ocean, it could displace water and create waves. Shallow water impacts tend to create greater tsunamis. So, according to ChatGPT, it says that a 50 to 70 meter asteroid hitting water at 20 kilometers per second, which sounds kind of like this one, could produce initial waves of 10 to 50 meters high near the impact site. By the time the tsunami reaches the shore, wave height depends on coastal topography, but it could range from a few meters to over 10 meters in some areas. So it seems like there's a lot of variables there. It says, ChatGPT claims that a 7 megaton impact in the ocean from an asteroid could produce a localized tsunami of 10 to 50 meters and a few meters at distant shores. Interesting. Some good questions. As I mentioned before, this is the, oh, hold on a second here. No, I want to show you the risk list. I think that's interesting to show you. Where is the risk list? Here. This is the European Space Agency risk list. The risk list is a catalog of all objects for which a non-zero impact probability has been computed. Okay, 1,743 objects. Well, guess what number one is? There's number one right there. 2024 YR4, September 22nd, 2032. Impact probability max, 1 in, sorry, where is it here? Oh, I did here. 1 in 44 chance. 1 in 44. So it is the number one on the risk list. It does not have a nickname yet. AAA said, did it have a nickname yet? Good question. No nickname that I've heard. Geeg says, I like those odds. Let me just show you something real quick from I don't think we've ever covered an asteroid approaching Earth story. Well, an asteroid possibly approaching Earth story. This is the first we've ever covered. Thanks to Mama 457 Rose for your support. I appreciate that. Thank you. PMG says the asteroid of the Americas. You can see Washington Post says on Wednesday, an unprecedented memo from the International Asteroid Warning Network reached the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs, and from there winged across the planet to government officials. The memo said asteroid 2024 YR4, first detected in late December, might hit our planet on December 22nd, 2032. The likelihood then was 1.3%. It's now over 2%. But the probability combined with the estimated size of the rock, possibly big enough to uncover a football field, was unusual enough to trigger for the first time the international warning system established in 2013. This is the first time ever since it was established in 2013 that the international asteroid warning system has been activated. Increases in probability typically happen early in the observing process. What's also typical is that the probability of an impact eventually drops down again all the way to zero. Interesting. Telescopes and cameras are getting much better at finding the stuff that's roaming the solar system. As a result, this kind of warning is likely to become more common. Heidi Hamill, Vice President for Science at the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy, urged the public not to fret about this new asteroid. I have car insurance and house insurance, but I don't worry about getting asteroid insurance, she said. It's not nearly big enough to pose a risk to civilization. It would deliver a significant punch if it struck Earth. It's estimated 130 to 300 feet wide. Estimates, as we told you, the blast damage in the unlikely event of an impact could reach as much as 30 miles from the impact site. This expert said it's an unusual event. Even being a 3 on the Torino impact hazard scale is pretty major. It is the second highest hazard rating ever recorded. Apophis, which was originally forecast to have a 2.7% probability of hitting Earth in 2029, and which reached 4 on the Torino scale, is now said by astronomers, based on further observations that that asteroid Apophis will surely miss Earth. What happened with Apophis, the impact probability dropping to zero, says the Washington Post, is a pattern repeated many times with asteroids. That doesn't mean astronomers should be complacent. Anything this size, when it has any percentage possibility of hitting the Earth, it's a wake-up to get more observations and more modeling and pay attention to it, said expert Bruce Betts. But he added, all the dangerous objects in historical time that have been discovered ahead of time have gone to zero. Will this be the first one that hasn't? This object will only be visible for a few months before it vanishes into the darkness of space. Then it returns in 2028. It may be similar in size, as some of our viewers are saying, to the object that exploded in the atmosphere near Tunguska, Russia in 1908 and flattened trees across a vast region in Siberia. Andrew Rivkin, an astronomer, said the detection of potentially hazardous asteroids will become more common and pose a challenge for science communicators. The warnings that arise will be the sign a system is working, not that the hazards are increasing. The asteroids were always there, he said. It's just now we're going to be capable of seeing much smaller objects. We're going to be seeing them farther out. We need to figure out, and science writers will have to figure out, how to best cast this risk, because it's something people should not worry about. Well, we'll have a couple months to see where is this going to be at. What will the estimate be at in a couple months when this thing leaves temporarily visibility to people on Earth and to our instruments? What will happen? I'll take a few more comments here. I will certainly be keeping an eye on this. Can I bet on this in Vegas? Stephen Beale said, I don't know. Polymarket, which is a gambling site, had bets on the percentage going up to 3 or 5%. I think Polymarket may not even be legal in the US. I don't know. You have to check that out yourself. I leave that to you. You can see Polymarket has bets up of NASA estimate reaching a 3% chance or 5% chance. And this is specifically about this asteroid. And it has to, it's will they, this one is, will NASA estimate that it has a 3% greater chance of hitting Earth by June 30th, 2025. So these Polymarket bets are bets about what will happen up to June 30th, 2025. ShadowNet says people will bet on anything. One of our viewers mentioned that Wikipedia posted a map. I'm not so sure about this. Yeah, where are they getting this from? They say they're basing it on a Sky and Telescope article. I'd be careful with this. Yeah, I mean, there's no, one of the two sources doesn't have a map. Yeah, there's a Sky and Telescope article, but which I don't know if they just reposted the map on Wikipedia, but I haven't seen that posted by the scientific agencies. So I'm not sure it's that narrow. It's like, let me just show you something here. Yeah, somebody posted this. Daniel Bamberger posted this. And it looks similar to the Sky and Telescope thing, but I don't know that it's that. I mean, you have that orange line going across. I mean, I haven't seen NASA post that. I haven't seen the European Space Agency post that. So I'd be careful on that. I mean, all that that I've seen the space agencies post, and I've seen the international, to be specific, the International Asteroid Warning Network. They just say Eastern Pacific Ocean, Northern South America, Atlantic Ocean, Africa, Arabian Sea, and South Asia. I don't know how wide a swath they are talking about. So I would just be careful about that. Chaz says I'd expect the line to be fatter. I just don't know, but it doesn't specify here. It doesn't specify the width of that line. Eddie V says, can Doge do anything about this? They do have on the Wikipedia page for this asteroid a size comparison. Here, look, this is from Wikipedia by Sinusep, it says. Size comparison of, there it is. It says size comparison of 2024 YR4. Boeing wingspan, 65 meters. Oh, I guess black is the black is the low estimate and the gray is the high estimate. On the bottom left is Tunguska meteoroid, 50 to 80 meters. On the lower right is this asteroid. It's actually between 30 and 100. Is it 30? No, it's 40 and 100. Oh, yeah, 40 and 100. That sounds right, roughly speaking. And there is a Boeing 747 wingspan on the top left. Oops! By the way, it shouldn't say replay of press conference, obviously. We're not talking about press conference. Some of our viewers mentioned the Chelyabinsk thing. Dr. McRib says speed also matters. The Chelyabinsk meteor, says Wikipedia, was a super bolide that entered Earth's atmosphere over the southern Ural region in Russia in 2013 February. That was about 60 feet in diameter, near-Earth asteroid, with a speed of around 19 kilometers per second. And it exploded in an airburst at a height of about 18 miles, generated a bright flash, producing a hot cloud of dust and gas that penetrated to 86,000 feet and many surviving small fragmentary meteorites. Most of the energy of the object was absorbed by the atmosphere, creating a large shock wave. It had a total kinetic energy before atmospheric impact equivalent to the blast yield of 400 to 500 kilotons of TNT. Approximately 30 times as much energy than that released by Hiroshima bomb. It approached Earth undetected. How about that? In part because its radiant source direction was close to the sun. 1,491 people were injured seriously enough to seek medical treatment. All of the injuries were due to indirect effects rather than the meteor itself, like broken glass from the shock wave. Around 7,200 buildings in 6 cities were damaged by the shock wave. That is the largest known national. That was about 60 feet in diameter. The current one we're talking about is 130 to 300 feet. This was the largest known natural object to have entered Earth's atmosphere since the 1908 Tunguska event, which destroyed a wide, remote, forested, and very sparsely populated area of Siberia, which was bigger than this. This meteor is also the only meteor confirmed to have resulted in injuries. The Tunguska event was about 160 to 200 feet wide, roughly similar size to the one we're talking about now. And that destroyed an estimated 80 million trees over 830 square miles. Ralph says I may have pronounced it wrong. Sorry if I pronounced things wrong. I might have pronounced all of that stuff wrong. We'll take a few more comments here. Thank you, Ray G. Ray G says, I could see those surfer dudes going out to the beach and hitting those asteroid waves. Thanks, CK. No, it is currently not supposed to hit Pennsylvania, even if it does hit. Bebop and Rocksteady thinks that because of NASA carried out a DART exercise where it deflected the course of an asteroid, I think in 2022, Bebop and Rocksteady thinks the chance is zero it will actually hit the U.S. Because I guess Bebop and Rocksteady thinks there'll be a DART mission or something like that. Well, there'll be a mission from Earth if needed. Thank you, Bebop and Rocksteady. This article, by the way, from AP came out last week, came out a week ago, when it was slightly more than 1%. Now it's more than 2%. According to ESA, Earth gets hit by an asteroid this size every few thousand years with the potential for severe damage. Plenty Golden thinks it'll be 3% tomorrow. All right, we'll take a few more comments and questions on this. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on this story. If the probability goes down, I don't think we'll cover it. But if the probability keeps going up, we'll probably do more coverage of this. Our viewer One Eye says the world, at least Trump didn't do anything existentially bad today. The universe, I'm gonna do you like the dinosaurs. I believe, if I remember right, the asteroid that caused the destruction of the dinosaurs was over 100 miles wide. Yes. No, I'm sorry. 100 miles is wrong. But that's way too big. But it's much bigger than this. Oh, no. Natural History Museum says it was thought to be 10 to 15 kilometers wide, 6 to 10 miles wide. And the crater that it caused is around 100 miles wide. But the asteroid itself was between roughly 6 to 10 miles wide. That's the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Shaggy says that one hit in the Yucatan Peninsula. It is the Chicxulub crater. The Chicxulub crater. The Chicxulub, I'm probably saying that wrong. Chicxulub crater. Chicxulub crater is an impact crater buried underneath the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Its center is offshore. It was formed over 66 million years ago when an asteroid about 6 miles in diameter struck Earth. Unbelievable. The crater is estimated to be 120 miles in diameter and 0.62 miles in depth. It is believed to be the second largest impact structure on Earth. What happens if it hits the moon? I haven't heard any discussion of that among scientists. That's a great question. Now, maybe, let me point this out. Maybe there's no talk about this because I'm certain that scientists have a date. They say if this thing is going to hit, it's going to hit on December 22nd, 2032. So they will know where the moon is at the time, right? they'll know where the moon is. And maybe the moon is just not in a place on that day where it has any chance of hitting it. That's my guess. Although I want to say no, because let me say no. Well, I don't know. From what I understand, they don't really have a good, this thing could hit farther away from Earth than the moon is. So, yes, that's a good question. You know, Yippee Kaye says hits both Earth and moon. Chaz says the chance would be so slim. The Earth is about 4 times wider than the moon, by the way. Thank you, Ronald Kame, for the gift membership. That's so nice of you. So, trust me on this, though. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. If it's 2 months from now, or even a month from now, but 2 months, if we get to the point, first of all, if we get to the point where it like goes up to 10%, it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be talking about this. And also, remember, in a couple months, it is supposed to pass out of view until 2028. If we get to that point where it's going away from view and this percentage has gone up some, you could have people talking about this a lot for years. It would be a big deal. Be a big deal. Brian Beelman says AAA insurance cover this in the future. One of our viewers said, "Isn't that what the moon is for?" I think it's an important story right now. I think it's a really important story. When I saw the news yesterday, when I saw B&O News post, I think it was yesterday, that it was like 1.7% or something, I said, like, that seems like a lot. I mean, when you're talking about something with this kind of impact, with 7 megaton explosion that could destroy a city, that seems like a lot to me. And that was when it was below 2%. I actually think I think it should be getting more coverage. This is a high, that's a very non-negligible chance. And it would be a huge deal. I know some of you say, well, if it was coming here, we would just send something up to take care of it. I mean, that would be, I assume, some big effort. And it would really need to work. I don't know if you'd want to have like a backup if the first thing you sent up didn't work. That's a huge deal. Pip Johnson found an article from the Planetary Society from 2023. What would happen if an asteroid hit the moon? It's happened before and it'll happen again. This article, I'll post a link to it in the chat. The Planetary Society said that if a large asteroid impacted the moon, there are no asteroids large enough to split the moon apart or knock it off its orbit around Earth, says the Planetary Society. Anyways, it's an interesting article. I'll post a link in the chat to the article right now and you can read it. Also, the article from the Planetary Society says if an asteroid hit the moon and it caused material to be ejected with enough force to reach the Earth, those rocks would burn up in the atmosphere. Thanks for sending that in. Pip Johnson. Interesting. Interesting. Southwest Oklahoma Sooner is saying something that the Mayans believed cataclysmic or transformative events would occur around 21 December 2012. Hopefully they weren't off by 20 years. That is what Southwest Oklahoma Sooner says. Eric V says NASA has an app called Asteroids and Comets where you can follow asteroids. You know, I looked it up on this. This is a NASA site. NASA Eyes on Asteroids. And I searched for 2024 YR4. And I got, I mean, we don't really know what it looks like, I don't believe. But you can go there and you can kind of see where it is, I guess. I'm kind of just zooming around here. I'll post a link to this in the chat. I don't really know what I'm doing with this thing. I have no idea. There's this. I can see the sun. I can see the sun. Orbital path. Close approach. 2032. There you go. Closest approach to Earth. 2032. Anyways. I'm going to post a link to this site so you can. Called Eyes on Asteroids. There. Eyes on Asteroids. You can look it up there. All right, I just posted that. Thanks to our viewer for sending that in, Eric. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I find this story fascinating. But I hope we don't have to, I hope we don't have to cover it again. Stragmol says we'll check back in 5 years. Well, I think the big time horizon here is April or so. When what will the percentage be then? When it finally moves away from being visible for several years. So we will keep an eye on this. And I will be posting more. I'll post more updates on my X account. But I think it's time. Hold on a second here. Harry Callahan says, can you schedule a video now so we don't forget? One of our viewers said tomorrow, one of my followers said tomorrow is not promised. All right. So, thank you, Captain Jerry Donnelly, who says, I would play the lotto every day if I had these odds. The 2.3%. Thank you, Bebop and Rocksteady, also. Thank you, Bebop and Rocksteady, who says U.S. aid will pay for the mission. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this. If we keep seeing this percentage rising, we're gonna cover this again. If not, then we won't. But we'll have to see. So I really appreciate you joining me for our coverage of Asteroid 2024 YR4. A lot of interesting questions and comments tonight, by the way, that people brought up. So keep an eye out. NASA's I think they've been updating it like every day. NASA and the ESA, the last few days, I think, according to BNO News, they've been updating their percentage every day. So I'm going to keep refreshing these sites, and seeing if they update their percentages. Anyways, subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news, including asteroids. Our first asteroid stream, I think. Cover all kinds of live breaking news here. Waltham says, while NASA is still funded. Cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. Agenda Free TV. The name of it is 2024 YR4. But I think maybe that's because it was discovered in 2024. But it's supposed to, if it hits, the possible hit date is 2032. Again, I will post updates on my X account about this. At Lookner on X. You can follow me over there. Also, shout out to, I first heard about this to BNO News, from BNO News. They've been posting about it. BNO News Live. At BNO Desk, a good account to follow for this and for breaking news. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and thanks for those people who've been in the chat. And also, shout out to our, turn on our notifications. We come on at all hours when there's live breaking news. I can't give you a schedule in advance. So turn on the notifications so you get notified when we're going live. We have a notification system. It works great. It's free. You get sent a notification whenever we go live so you don't miss a broadcast. So sign up. It's easy. The mods will post the notifications link in the chat. You can also find it in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook. So sign up for the notifications. Highly recommend that. And a big thanks to our moderators. They are so awesome. We could not have chat rooms without our moderators. They're a huge part of the channel. So big thanks to our moderators. Ruth Krafasi, and Roberts May Queen, and over on YouTube, and all of our other YouTube moderators who've been there, thank you. Linda Belk-Larry, Misha on X, over on Twitch. I owe a couple thanks on Twitch. My Florida, our moderators, I Got That Fire, and Surly Dev. Big thanks for moderating over there. And quick thanks on Twitch to the Sugaro, Dominar Draco, Redefine Happiness, and My Florida. And Daredevil 2300 for your support, and Daddy Dino. I zoned out on thanking Twitch people. Totally my fault. And Sir Steve 123. Sorry, Twitch viewers, Twitch supporters. Also, thanks to our Facebook moderators, Charlotte Webb, Christina Neal, Kay Lowry Body. Really appreciate Paul Anderson. Really appreciate all of our moderators. Thank you. And thanks to everybody who donated. That was so nice of you. You are the ones who support this channel and allow it to exist. So thanks so much for your support. If you ever want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But huge thanks. So nice of you. I think I thanked everybody. Hopefully. I think I did. But very much appreciated. And, we have a chat, a live chat. You can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. It's on Discord. A lot of our viewers like doing it. Check it out. Same link is at the notifications link. Exact same link. And thanks to our Discord mods for all you do. Thanks, Discord mods. Another good way to find out when we're going live and get a heads up about news about the channel is follow us on X at Agenda Free TV. I always post there when we're going live and post updates about the channel there at Agenda Free TV on X. And a reminder for those on YouTube, I would suggest turning on the YouTube notifications if you're a YouTube viewer. But to do that, it's a little funky over there on YouTube. What you got to do is, once you're already subscribed, then you got to click the bell and choose all notifications. So if you do subscribe on YouTube, make sure you have the bell clicked and the all notifications checked. Big shout out to our Facebook subscribers who support the channel by subscribing over there, like Robert Rial II, Eve Richards, Lou Green, K. Larry Body, Michael Clayton. Good to see you, Michael. Jennifer Ellers, who says, that is nuts how they can predict this. Thank you, Jennifer. And all of our other subscribers over there on Facebook. Also, Diane Allworth, too. Thank you. And, you know, there was one other thing I never even talked about. Well, maybe we can talk about it next time. Let's see here. Where is it here? Where is it? I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's see. Oh. I would like to get more, if we cover this again, hopefully I can get you more on, you know, what the potential impact could be. I mean, we're talking about a explosion. It could be an explosion of 7 megatons, which is like 500 times the Hiroshima explosion, if I have that right. Right? Yeah, so this is a sizable explosion. Anyways, thanks also to our Twitch subscribers, Simp Nasty Scrimp, Jack's Animals, I Got That Fire, Annie Cush, Gina Pina, thanks for subscribing, Cole K. Meister, Wall Street and Shaggy, King James 5, is it? Thanks for subscribing. Shrocky, thanks for subscribing. And all of our other subscribers there on Twitch. And I mean, that is, again, the Hiroshima bomb was 15 kilotons. This is the estimate on the size of explosion for this from NASA is 7 megatons. Thank you also to our YouTube members like Evelyn V, Evelyn in Maine, Brenton Eslick, Raven Knight, Eric Johnson, Red Squirrel, Joe Hart, Gen X Racer OG, CAC 813, Turned Off, Mama 457 Rose, Anthony R, Captain Jerry Donnelly, Wickedest Witch, Gen X Racer, Ronald Kame, Dr. McRib, Ryan Beelman, Marie Claude Vigneault, Tabitha Veers, Scott Johnston. Scott says they always go down, the chances. Scott says, I've never seen the chances go up before. They always go down, so that's news that they go up. Well, eventually, in the past, they've gone down. But will this one go down? We'll have to see if this is like the previous ones that have gone down. But it's only the second time it's gotten above 2%. Thanks to Gen X Racer, Wickedest Witch, Gringo, GM2 Rob Guns, Ben C, ShadowNet, our YouTube members, thank you. Benny Hill. And, also. By the way, NASA says an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. See, I said orbits the sun before. I've seen some different definitions here. NASA's Space Place says an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. Asteroids are smaller than a planet, but they are larger than the pebble-sized objects we call meteoroids. A meteor is what happens when a meteoroid, a small piece of an asteroid or a comet, burns up upon entering Earth's atmosphere, creating a streak of light in the sky. Somebody asked about asteroid versus meteor. That's from NASA's Space Place. Oh, thank you so much to David Bozick. Hey, thanks, David. I appreciate that. David Bozick, thank you. Thanks to JBoys45 for watching. Thank you to Christy Claft, Michelle Batten, Kevin Groves, Ann Hojnacki, just shouting out some other people. We're going to wrap this up right now. Trillion over on Twitch. Leon4465 says, just don't look up. Rip Slayer, Sidewalk Connoisseur, Junior Robert, and others. All right, that is it. We are wrapping this up now. Emperor Penguin, thanks for watching too. We are wrapping this up. You've been watching our live coverage of the Asteroid 2024 YR4, discovered on December 27th, the 7th. Now is only the second asteroid ever with a greater than 2% chance of hitting Earth. But the other one, the chances went down. Now it's expected to not hit Earth. But this one, we're at 2.3% according to NASA. Is this going to go up in the coming weeks or months? We have until about April to see, because around April it's going to pass out of our view for several years. We'll have to see. I'm going to keep a watch on this story. Again, I hope we don't have to cover it again, but if those chances keep going up, we'll cover it again. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.